Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and I'm doing a tent review because I love anything that helps me do what I love in the summer, like going up to Mount Hood and snowboarding, going up to Lake Chelan, camping and surfing a weird wave, or just camping with my wife or my kids. And this is the REI Arete ASL 2. It's a 3 to 4 season tent, more on the 3 season side, but it's one that I love on shoulder season camps and midsummer when it's not too hot. I've used this several times and I've gotten it mainly in 70, 80 degree weather during the day, then going down to the 60s and 50s at night. But I've also gotten this in 60 degree weather during the day, 50 degree weather, and then 40s and 30s in the night. To give you a short summary, this is a good tent for the price point. It's great for those who see a lot of varied weather like I do up in the Pacific Northwest. You might get a rainstorm here and there. You might get a cold night and a warm day, and you need to be ready for a little bit of everything. It's the tent I use when it's still cool at night, but warmer in the day, and you need that ventilation. And it's the next step towards warmer weather from my Big Agnes Copper Spur HV2 Expedition tent, which is better in colder weather. It's relatively easy to assemble. It's pretty sturdy, not amazing. It's got good ventilation and a good rain fly. You don't necessarily need the rain fly on warmer days, and you can still have privacy or ventilation if you need it, and I like it. When it comes to assembly, it's pretty easy and it doesn't take too long, but I gotta say, after trying the clip style setup with tents like Big Agnes and others, it's much easier than the REI Arete ASL, where you have to run the poles through these guide areas and they hold the pole in place. That takes a lot more work and it's a little more frustrating with all the different poles, but still, it's very easy to set up. I've had a lot worse. Getting the rainfly on is pretty easy too, and overall, it's a little slower than some, but still very doable. And when it comes to warmth, I think this is definitely a step down warmth-wise from my Copper Spur HV2 Expedition. That is much warmer and much better, but this has much more ventilation and it's much better on those warmer days. It's still not like a full-on mesh tent. Those definitely breathe a lot easier. But here's the thing, with those mesh tents, you want a little privacy. So I always have the rain fly on with those, where with the REI Arete ASL2, I can just take the rain fly off and get almost about the same ventilation as I could with the rain fly on. And I like that. It can handle some pretty cool weather. It all depends on personal comfort and what kind of sleeping bag and sleeping pad you have and just how warm you run. But I think this could work on some warmer splitboarding expeditions if you've got the space for a tent this big, or a cooler backpacking adventure if that's what you're into. I'm not personally, but as a car camper for one, maybe 2 people, or 1 person and a dog, this is just great, and that's what I love it for. When it comes to wind, if it's a really windy camping adventure, I want my more burly Copper Spur HV2 Expedition tent. That's gonna do a much better job, or something like that. But this looks like it can handle a decent amount of wind just by the aerodynamics. If you stake in all those guidelines, I think you're gonna get a pretty decent amount of wind protection, and it's gonna hang in there. I've had the REI Basecamp 6 in 65+ mile-an-hour winds, just a crazy sandstorm in Death Valley in the winter. It held up really well, and that's a much bigger tent. This Arete SL2 has a similar design, only smaller and a 2-person, and it seems like it could handle just about the same amount of wind. So I'm not that worried about wind with this guy, as long as you just stake down every guy line and make sure it's set up properly. I think it could hang throughout that. One thing to go back to warmth and ventilation, there's one thing on the top of the tent I don't like where you can zip up the vent. The zip up below the vent is well below the vent. So if for some reason you get caught in the rain without your rain fly on, water's gonna come through that mesh screen on the protection area and probably leak down into your tent. So it'll do till you get the rain fly on, but let's say you go on a hike, it was sunny, all of a sudden the clouds come in and it just rains like a cow pissing on a flat rock on you for 20 minutes, like it can do sometimes. You might get pretty soaked on the inside. Where with other tents like my Copper Spur Expedition HV2, God, I hate that name, so long. If you zip everything up, you're probably gonna be okay, but you're gonna have a better chance of being okay with that than you would the REI or ASL2. The interior pockets with this are great. I love how many places I have to store things. It does a very good job at organizing shit that you have in your tent, and inside it's very spacious. The walls go up straight almost. It gives you a lot of room for one person, maybe one person with a dog, or one person like me who just likes to have a lot of extra room when I go camping by myself. But if I was camping with one of my kids, a 7-year-old boy or a 9-year-old girl, I'd be fine. If it was me and my wife, no, we'll just bring a bigger tent. It's just too cramped and too packed. We like a little extra space after we go to sleep. So this would be too tight. But that's like all tents. It's just too tight when it's a 2-person. You need a 3 or a 4-person tent for 2 people. When we go camping with the whole family, we take a 6-person tent for 4 people, and that works pretty well. So same kind of rule all the way down there.
This is the REI Arete 2-person tent. It's a nice tent. I like how much mesh it has. I like the breathability options that it has. I didn't have rain fly over it last night. It was like 36 degrees out and it didn't feel like cold or damp in there or anything. With the headspace, I think it's a really comfy fit for 2 people. I think I would prefer, if I'm backpacking, to just have this to myself, because I like to have a little room for my backpack and a change of clothes or something next to me. But if you were just car camping or you wanted to be really cozy and you were backpacking, you're really trying to save weight and have someone carry a pad and someone else carry a tent or something like that, this is a really good option for it. This setup is a little confusing if you don't know what you're doing, but after you figure it out for the first time, it's up in a jiff, as easy as any of the super efficient REI tents that you would buy. So one thing I did like about this tent is this big, it's not 360 degrees, maybe 358 degrees zipper. You come all the way around with it, and it is nice that it does have this little spot up here, so it's really easy to fold it in. And for a tent, this is honestly about the cleanest like opening setup I've used. One of the better ones. It's just nice how easy you can fold it, get it out of your way if you want to have a nice day coming in and out or breathe it out or something.
And I like how there's 2 zippers too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I think this is a great tent for those shoulder season campers or people who see cooler weather like I do sometimes, but want some ventilation for when it gets warm. Hope that helps.